Hi everybody, this is Editing Class Elitist. What you're about to see is some video that we shot on the Twitch stream that we're going to be using here on YouTube to catalog and chronicle some of our PC builds. So this was the first one. I admit it's very rough. We've already done a bunch of things differently that will be upcoming in further episodes, such as the boom has moved out of the shot. We're working on getting in some new cameras with better angles. If you enjoy what you watch, please like, share, comment on the video with what you liked, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you can find the next one. If you don't like it, please do me a favor. Not only hit the dislike button, but also leave a comment with what can be changed in the description, down below the description, so that I know what to work on to make these videos better. I really appreciate your help in trying to make this channel grow. Also, consider subscribing to see if I take your ideas to heart or not. That being said, we're going to go into the video, and hopefully I'll see you guys here still at the end.
All right, so here we are, set up in the studio. We're going to do an unboxing to start with for our Command & Conquer figure case.
Whoops.
Here we have the H510 from NZXT. This is what we're going to be using for the figure case because the one that I had wanted to use is not currently available. Gordon! Greetings, comrade! All right, here we have our patient. So first we're going to have to do some teardown to get this ready to work on. Our back panel, as you can see, solid steel. Okay, I can remove that, I believe. All of this is going to get painted, but the reason why we went with a white case is we're going to be painting this yellow and red, obviously. So we wanted to make sure that we had as neutral a palette to work with as possible.
All right.
All right, so this filtered piece here, you can see is held on just by that little compression clip. One top, one bottom. Pop that. And we have freed our filter. We're going to use that later, but that's going to have to get treated. Yes, we are going to make a Soviet PC case. I see an Amethyst Lady, or at least her name. It's cool to see the full you. I mean, sort of. I wish there was less full me to see, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so, couple reasons why we went with this case. So we might as well go over that now. First off, if you're going to mod, I don't see a reason to mod anything that doesn't come with a tempered glass panel at this point. Like, no acrylic. If you want to show off your mod, you want tempered glass, right? That'll show off the PC on the inside. So, Good case, tempered glass. That piece we're not going to have to touch. That's going to stay just like that. Also, I really like this shroud that they have here. This entirely contains the PSU, and the wiring, so that's going to hide a multitude of sins. This stripe here is going to give us a nice aspect of color that we're going to be able to add in, and that also does a lot of hiding of wiring and other elements. So that's going to be really beneficial for us. And this case is actually pretty easy to disassemble from everything I've heard. Most of it screws, a couple rivets, but what we're going to work on today is going to be a lot of teardown and a lot of prep so that we can get these side panels painted and get this case looking the way we want. It comes with 2 fans, 1 top set and 1 rear, both for exhaust. In addition, I have 3 RGB easy DIY fans that we're going to put in. And our soundtrack for the evening is supplied by Gregorio Franco. So go check him out on Bandcamp if you like what you hear. If you're watching this on YouTube, there will be a link in the description below. NZXT makes a great fan RGB controller that's only $25. Yes. And that unit is actually, if you get the 500i, that unit comes in that case. Since I was not planning on needing it for this, I got the 500D version instead. For any of you who are Gamers Nexus fans, you're welcome. But I can tell you, I definitely like all of the built-in cable management. Like, that's one of the main things about a case. You learn so much about a case building a PC in it, and you learn even more tearing it apart to mod it. But, like, look at all of this channeling that the camera isn't picking up. There we go. Look at all of this channeling here. And all of these different hooks. Like, everything was well concealed. It's got the tracks there. So, I mean, there is a lot of top-notch wire management in here. So a lot of good cable management. If you're not good at cable management, this will definitely give you an assist. You'll notice I'm popping the rivets at a slight angle. That keeps the heads from spinning as much. This is actually going to be my first time ever working with an NZXT. NZXT, depending on where you're from. I am very impressed with this case. I definitely think it's worth the money. I think that you're going to see a huge amount of competition in the $60 to $100 case market, and that's good for us. And as far as airflow goes, conventional wisdom says that positive pressure builds up less dust than negative pressure, or, you know, the unicorn that is balanced airflow. My only concern with that is that the only really solid test I've seen regarding that was done by Linus and Company, and they found it to be exactly the opposite. I think the best answer is just clean your case on a regular basis and go with whichever pressure creates less temperature. So there's our 3 red body panels and our 1 yellow body panel cleared of the case. Yeah, the rest of this I'm just going to leave as is. I'm not a fan of 3.5-inch drives, so if this were mine, I would probably pull out the drive housing and just use the SSD slots on the back. Alright, so in order for the paint to take, we're going to need to do some scuffing. Normally, I like using a much lighter sandpaper, like about a 160 to 220 weight for scuffing. But all of the NXT stuff has a texture to it. So in order to remove that texture, we're going to go something heavier, and we're going to do some 80 grain. Now, as you can see from my hands and my table and my everything, we are covered in dust. So, take a paper towel. Got some paper towels. Make sure you get up all the dust. This is usually a lot easier to tell, because usually it's a white paper towel picking up black dust, and you can tell when it stops picking up. White on white just ain't right. And the rest of these are going to be red. Here's those moments where I hate my brain. This is going to be the part that's going to be inside the case. This is the part that no one will see aside from me and maybe the owner of the case. There is absolutely no need to sand this part and paint it red, because it's already perfectly painted. Guess what we gonna do? I may be slightly regretting that not wearing a mask thing. I still kicked up a whole bunch of dust. If I'm coughing during tomorrow's stream, it's not the Rona. It's the paint. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next part. I have a old, house fire power unit that we keep around for testing components. It'll never go into a PC, but if I put a jumper on it like that, I can use it to test all of the elements that are going to be going into the case to make sure that they work. In this case, we have easy DIY fab 120 millimeter fans. For those of you who are fans of Jay's 2 Cents, these are the that he made extinct. These are the ones that he reviewed and went, "Oh my God, guys, these things are incredibly good for their price. Go get some." And they were gone in 45 minutes and have been gone for 2 months. Oh, this is really good. Guys, anybody that's considering doing your own DIY projects or adding fans to a case, Easy DIY has a gigabyte motherboard to the way everyone else wires their stuff adapter in this box. That is really, really cool, because most of these don't work with Gig, because Gig does their own proprietary wiring system. They don't play well with others. And 3. All of the unicorn vomit. So, double ring on the front and on the inside, and then dual side chamber rings. So when you're looking at the case from the side, you'll see this, and then you'll see that kind of tilted in. And I think you'll also see this through the mesh air intake on the other side, which is kind of what I was hoping for. You didn't want to shoot the PSG with a paperclip the old school way? No, because I have actually built components for that now. We used to do that. We also used to use refrigerator coolant components to make cooling loops. But we don't do that anymore either. Sometimes old school is not the best school. And now this is going to be how we're going to build the Tesla coil. Okay. Normally I wouldn't work on mounting fans this early, but A, we have time. B, I need to give stuff time to dry. And C, this fan housing is not part of the case. So I can mount the fans and then take this mounting out when I go to rivet everything together. So I'm not worried about ruining anything. Also, for a DIY fan, I'm kind of impressed because the sound dampeners come pre-installed. Like, there's not much DIY to these fans. If you are interested in lower price fans, by the way, and you want to see somebody that does a ton of reviews on them, you will hear me reference this dude a lot. Check out Kosher Tech on YouTube, because when it comes to Chinese fans, there is nobody that knows more about them than him. He has reviewed every one there is. I'm convinced of it. Alright. So this one metal plate here, this seems a little lightweight steel and flimsy. Like I'm bending it to my will to get it the fans super tight. Like, I don't know that that's important in the grand scheme of things. It's just a fan mounting bracket. I would have liked to have seen it be a little bit thicker, but I don't know that it matters. I'm thinking about maybe making the map, this thing here, the back plate of the case, and using a long image like this on the front. But like that right there, that could be a really interesting, albeit many layers of paint and difficult to do, back panel. Because if I spray the whole thing white, well, it starts white, I spray the whole thing yellow, then use frog tape to mask out the edges of the map, and then spray the red, spray the blue, spray the black, and then probably hand etch the tactical overlay. That's doable. And again, that's really inherent to the game. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. This was a test to see how this setup works. I'll figure out if I like it or not when I go back through and do some editing. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Look forward to part 2 coming up soon. Other than that, boom shadows in my shot. Other than that, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed watching me work through the process of how I try to do these. Again, if you've liked the music that you've heard during the stream, that is Gregorio Franco. There will be a link down below on YouTube. Other than that, if you're watching on Twitch, just Google it. We do these every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, until usually midnight or sometimes later. So if you like this if you saw this on YouTube, hit up the Twitter, hit up the Twitch, come visit me over on our Twitch channel, and be part of the conversation while we're building these. Anyway, everyone, thank you very much. Have yourselves a great evening, and I'll see you again very soon.